Ladies and gentlemen, what's good? We're back with another Bobby Reacts video. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day today. So I know what you guys are thinking. Apparently my light just decided to go off. It's okay. Yes, I did just finish casting the South Asia and Middle East region for COD Mobile Champs for Stage 4. But whenever I got to the studio to start recording, I found out there are some massive balance changes coming to the game. So before we go out for our celebratory breakfast, because it's currently 8 a.m. here and we just finished casting, we're going to go ahead and run through these balance changes. If you guys enjoy the video, if it's helpful, if you're excited for the balance changes, make sure to drop a like down below. Make sure to subscribe to the squad if you guys haven't already. But obviously, we do need to go ahead and take a look at the balance changes right here. As you guys can see, we got a whole lot of buffs and nerfs, and a lot of these I am super excited for. So, first thing we're going to take a look at is the Fennec. I don't think there are many people who would say the Fennec didn't need a nerf, and it's getting a lot of them. Like, a lot. Like, I don't think people are going to use it anymore. We got reload time increased by 10%, vertical recoil 10%, damage range decreased, ADS bullet spread increased, hipfire bullet spread increased as well. So basically the Fennec is going to be useless, or at least so it seems. MX9 also getting a nerf, only the hipfire spread by 8%, which makes sense because there are a ridiculous amount of hipfire attachments that you can throw on that sucker. One that I'm really excited for, you guys already know, one of my all-time favorite guns, one of my usual go-tos, is the GKS getting the Enhanced Bolt perk. So it is, I believe, the slowest firing SMG outside of maybe the Razorback. Definitely feels like a much-needed addition and should make it really fun to use. Increase the fire interval by 14.2%. Cons, decreases damage range by 7% and single shot damage from 28 down to 27, but you're not going to be really missing out from 1 damage. So I think this could actually mean a GKS meta, not 100% positive. We do have a buff to the rapid fire perk on the Razorback, so decreases fire interval from 10% down to 11.9%, so makes it even faster. Looks like the rapid fire perk becoming more and more useful. I mean, it's the same as Enhanced Bolt for the most part. It does decrease the range by 5.2% and single shot damage from 30 to 29. Once again, 1 damage, not going to make a massive difference. Next up, we got a buff to the QXR. Single shot base damage increase from 22 to 23. Not going to make a massive difference, but might hit a little bit harder. DRH, once again getting buffs. They just really want the DRH to be meta. It's been pretty close to top 5 for like, what, a year now? Probably more than a year. They got a buff last season. It's getting another buff. Decrease ADS bullet spread by another 6.5%. Decrease vertical recoil by 4.5%. Also remove the vertical recoil penalty for adding the OTM mag. The only downside, hipfire spread is getting nerfed, but most people that use the DRH aren't really going to hipfire all that much anyway. So, very interesting. We have AK-47 changes that are only going to happen in multiplayer modes. They increase the ADS movement speed by 6%. They're also going to decrease the ADS time by 6%, increase the rate of fire by 10 RPM, which is not a big difference. Could potentially come into play, and decrease the ADS bullet spread by 7%. So AK-47 might actually be a viable, if maybe even meta gun in multiplayer in the next season. The nerf hipfire accuracy, once again, ARs don't typically need super high hipfire accuracy anyway, so you're not going to miss out on that a whole lot. They added a 36 round 5.45 caliber mag. Pros increase the fire interval, which was increased by 0.3%, and 6 rounds to the magazine capacity. Cons, ADS time, damage range, neither of those were changed, and the vertical recoil slightly increased by 0.8%. Once again, not going to be super noticeable. And then, I mean, pretty much the same attachment, but with slight variations. We're not going to take time to go through all of those. M4 LMG getting adjustments on both sides, so ADS boost by, oh, that's for the 40 round. So the 40 round is already, there's like no reason to not use it if you're going to use the M4 LMG, and they're buffing it again by giving the ADS boost 20% instead of 15. They did, however, decrease the movement speed boost and the reload speed boost. So those are pretty significant, and I think makes it maybe slightly more balanced, and probably a little bit more like an AR. 30 round additions. Oh, they buffed the 30 round a lot. Oh my gosh. They changed the 30 round from an ADS speed boost of 10% up to 25% and an extra 2% on movement speed. That's pretty crazy. M16 needs a damage buff, but it's not going to get it. Decreased the recoil jump of the third bullet burst and decreased hit flinch by 9%. Not significant enough, I think, to make a huge difference. HSO 405 getting a buff as well. BR fans are going to be happy about that. Decreased sprint to fire, decreased ADS bullet spread, decreased hip fire spread, and decreased the reload time. So, might be the best shotgun in the game. Some people might argue that it is right now. AK-117 getting another buff, but also a nerf. First damage range increased from 4 meters to 9 meters. That's actually going to be huge. That means you can now 4-tap up to 9 meters with the AK-117. This is going to be one of the fastest killing up-close guns in the game. They decrease the single-shot damage from 26 down to 25, but obviously that means you can still 4-shot with it. They did slightly decrease the rate of fire, but only 10 RPM, not going to make a huge difference. That is a lot of hit flinch that they're adding, so it might end up being that the AK-117, now one of the better up-close ARs to play with in COD Mobile. Just straight across the board buffs for the RUS-79U. First damage range increased from 4 meters out to 7 meters, so that's going to give that more ability to 4-tap as well. Hit flinch decrease, vertical recoil decrease. I think it needs some mobility or ADS time buffs, but you know what? We'll take anything we can get. AS-Val got an increase in, or decreased hit flinch, but also they nerfed it by decreasing the bullet velocity and increasing the recoil. You guys got to keep in mind they are nerfing every top 3 metagun in the game right now. Type 25 is getting quite a few changes. More stopping power magazine options. They're also buffing the ADS bullet spread and decreasing the horizontal recoil by 8%. This could actually be kind of a laser if you build it out correctly. There are a lot of changes, as you can see, to the stopping power mag. The base damage increased from 24 to 25, so that means you do have the ability to 4-tap with it. Crazy fast rate of fire. That could be very, very powerful as well, and they buffed the 30 round by removing the ADS bullet spread accuracy penalty, decreasing the ADS time penalty, decreasing the recoil penalty, and the only nerf is that they're increasing the reload time penalty to 5%, which is not super significant at all. Type 25 might be a metagun. HVK slightly increased the damage range of the base gun. Reload time decreased by 10%. I don't think that's going to be sizable enough to make a difference. S36 horizontal recoil decreased by 17%. It's going to be a laser again if I'm thinking correctly. They slightly decreased the rate of fire and the vertical recoil is increased, but also decreased ADS bullet spread. S36 going to be looking nice. Holger got nerfs. I'm not sad about it. ADS time increased by 8%. Hit flinch increased by 15%. Slightly decreased the damage range of the base weapon, which was definitely one of the much needed changes. They changed the ADS movement speed, but what they really needed to do was make it so that you don't get a 40% ADS movement speed boost from the no stock. That seems like kind of the no-brainer change. But looks like no stock still going to make it pretty viable even with those changes. ASM 10 decreased horizontal recoil. They really want to make it so that no gun has horizontal recoil anymore. ADS time decreased by 4%. Only nerf is the vertical recoil increased by 3%, and it didn't really have super significant vertical recoil. So it'll be looking nice. 30 round fast mag added as well. Not too significant in my opinion. ICR getting a buff and a nerf. Hit flinch decrease. Increase the damage range, which will be nice. ADS bullet spread decrease as well. That was one of its big downsides. And the only nerf is 5% vertical recoil, which is not going to be bad at all. For the Man of War, buffing it in a couple ways. So increasing the rate of fire, decrease the ADS time, decrease the hip fire bullet spread, and decrease the vertical recoil as well. So the Man of War is going to be looking really nice. Might be back on top, to be honest. That looks like the most sizable change on a gun that was already close to the top. HBR getting a buff to ADS bullet spread and vertical recoil. I wish they'd give it like more damage or more range or something. I'd like for the HBR to be fun. AMAX getting a buff to ADS bullet spread and decreased horizontal recoil. Keep in mind, probably not going to be great, but the M67 AMAX still really, really good. Horizontal recoil decreased by 9% on the KN44. I mean, they're just going to make it so every AR is going to be a laser beam after this update. LK got a lot of stuff. Let me make sure this is in the field of view. 5% ADS bullet spread buff, 8% reload time buff, LK buffs announced by the Chinese version community manager added upper chest multipliers by 1.1%. We got to be getting another legendary LK. We have to be. This is going to be the best gun in the game. Slight reduction to horizontal recoil. It already didn't have any. Hipfire bullet spread decrease. Strike stock reduce ADS bullet spread and decreases horizontal recoil control more. It didn't even do anything to horizontal recoil control before, as far as I know. They also buffed the no stock, the light stock, and the combat stock. Okay. So, all you need to know is the meta guns are getting nerfed and LK24 meta. Hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, please do me a favor, drop a like down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.